all these teams making all these moves. And I thought I'd look at 8 or 10 of the teams and give you sort of my feeling of what I saw in the free agency. And I think there's a lot of things to consider. Did you add good players? But are they a chemistry issue? Did you get some value out of them? Or did you overpay for them? Do they fit your scheme? Did you go and attack the side of the ball that needs help? So I thought, little music maybe. I'd run through my off-season report cards. Let me hand out first an A. I thought the New York Jets hit it out of the park. First of all, Le'Veon Bell is exactly what Dak got in Zeke and what Jared Goff got in Todd Gurley. A dominating running back presence. Nothing helps a young quarterback more. They also upgraded at slot wide receiver and offensive line. This plan looks a lot like the Los Angeles Rams. Bring in a slot, upgrade the O-line, dependable running back. The Jets already have some nice defensive pieces. They have the 3rd pick, which I've been told they'd move down if they could get more pieces. They need a center, and they could use another corner. I thought they did a really good job. By the way, Le'Veon Bell's contract is not bad. It is not an outrageous contract for the production he will add. Next up, Cleveland Browns, I'll give them a B. Odell Beckham's missed 16 games in the last 2 years, and I think between Sheldon Richardson, Odell Beckham, and Jarvis Landry, this is a challenging team to coach with a rookie head coach who's only been a coordinator for 8 games, and nobody else in the league would have even interviewed Freddie Kitchens for a coordinator job, forget giving him the head coaching job. They did let go of a starting safety, Jabril Peppers, who's a good player, not a great player, and they feel they've got that solved. I do not question the X's and O's of the Browns, but I do question the culture. A lot of egos, a lot of strong points of view, and a head coach who appears to be a puppet. I'd give them a B. Thought the most underrated class of everybody was the Green Bay Packers. They didn't get a star, so I'll give them an A-. But linebacker Preston Smith is a baller. He will come in and start. Adrian Amos, a safety from the Bears, will come in and start. Offensive lineman Billy Turner's expensive but worth it in my opinion. I think they also got Zadarius Smith. They went and attacked the defensive side of the ball, which, by the way, they also did last year in the draft. So now, a minus because I don't think they got a guy that changes losses to wins, and I don't love, and I consider this part of free agency, who they hired as a head coach. But I do think they were smart. They got mid-level free agents. I'd give the Packers an A-. Raiders up next, I would give them a B-. Trent Brown was massively overpaid at left tackle. They had a much more affordable guard. I know it's not as crucial a position, but the Colts' Quentin Nelson proved guards matter too. I thought they overspent for the pieces they got, and they lost a couple of guys. Jordy Nelson's another, who I think are good locker room guys. They did upgrade on the perimeter, but I don't think their offensive line is perhaps as good. I think they just overpaid massively for Trent Brown. He's not the highest paid offensive lineman in NFL history, and I don't think Dante Scarnecchia basically saved his reputation last year. There were a lot of people that didn't know if he was a top starting left tackle, period, in the NFL. Forget the highest paid. I'd give the Raiders a B-. Niners, I'd give a B+ to. Under the radar, they went out and got a highly athletic linebacker, Quan Alexander. He's a really nice player. They went out and attacked the defensive side of the ball. Dee Ford's expensive, but I like him a lot. I know the Colts were interested in Dee Ford, and then Kansas City franchised him. Jason Verrett is a corner, a decent corner. They did not answer. They need a top wide receiver. Right now, the Niners do not have a number one wide receiver. Dante Pettis is a really solid 2. Had a nice rookie year. They have a star at tight end. They upgraded with Tevin Coleman, their running back situation. And, of course, they get Jimmy Garoppolo back. They didn't answer wide receiver. I think they will do that in the draft, not with their first pick, which is the number 2 pick, but with their second and third picks. Ravens, I'd give a C+. I like Mark Ingram, and Earl Thomas is not worth the money, but they just lost too many defensive starters. 4 defensive starter, C.J. Mosley, linebacker, you just can't replace that guy. There's nobody in the draft class you can replace, nobody on the market you can replace, so they get dinged for that. but it's a little better than just average because I think Mark Ingram, second to Le'Veon Bell, can really help a young quarterback. Listen, it's not math here, folks. It's not algebra. Young quarterbacks flourish when you give them a dependable workhorse behind them. Dak and Zeke, Goff and Gurley. It's not complimented. By the way, Patrick Mahomes had better numbers with Kareem Hunt than without Kareem Hunt. So they got Lamar a running back I like. He's not a pop guy, but he's a solid workhorse guy. Philadelphia Eagles, I thought they did great. I thought arguably did better than anybody. Not a shock, great GM. First of all, they added Malik Jackson next to Fletcher Cox. And then they re-signed Brandon Graham, a great young defensive guy up front. That defensive line's the best in football right now. Malik Jackson, Fletcher Cox, Brandon Graham is great. I also love what they did. They got a couple of nice moments out of Golden Tate, then they moved off him. That's how you play the game. They got a couple of nice moments out of Michael Bennett, who I still think can play, and then they moved off him. Nick Foles, they squeezed every ounce of pulp out of that orange, and then they moved off him. The Eagles they didn't even have cap space. I also think Deshaun Jackson's a really nice get. For the price they paid for Deshaun Jackson, he and Carson Wentz, very nice. Next up, their in-division rival, the Redskins. I just hated everything about it. Landon Collins plays a position that's dying, and they gave him $84 million. They lost Preston Smith, a linebacker, who I really like. Case Keenum's fine. I would have gone out and got Josh Rosen. I mean, I don't know. I never love what they do in free agency. This is an organization where I don't trust the owner. I just didn't like what they did. Giants were worse. I'd give them a D-. It's not losing Odell Beckham. That's not it. It's your reluctance to move off a shot fighter at quarterback. Olivier Vernon was a nice player. You don't have him. Golden Tate, I like as a number 2 or a 3 guy. I thought Philadelphia used him wisely. I like Golden Tate. I'd love to have him on a football team, but not for $38 million. I just can't figure out what the plan is. The one thing I'll say about the Giants last couple of years, they've attacked their offensive line, and they've done a pretty good job with their offensive line. They drafted a great kid last year, Will Hernandez. They got a starter from the Browns this offseason. That's why I didn't give them an F, a D-. And finally, the Jaguars, they upgraded at quarterback. But more than anything, I'm giving them a C+, not because they attained Nick Foles, because they moved off Blake Bortles. They lost Malik Jackson, who's a really good player. The offense now is Nick Foles and Leonard Fournette. Fournette, I'm not sure loves football. Remarkably, he's with that body type, he's hurt a lot. And I'm giving him a grade, a C+, because they were able to move off Blake Bortles, and the New York Giants are proving that's apparently incredibly difficult for a lot of teams to just acknowledge we're moving off a guy that isn't productive enough. So there are my report cards. My A's went to the Eagles, the Jets, and the Green Bay Packers. There you go. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.